Hey guys, welcome to the world of English exams. So this video is going to be the second of the three parts of the reading solve test video, and in this video we are going to cover three important question types. And by the way, this is part 2 of the solve reading tests from Cambridge IELTS 14 academic book, and we are going to solve test 3 from that book. Previously we have released the first part of this video in which I had answered the first 13 questions from the same paper, and thank you for your tremendous encouragement and good comments on our videos, guys. We are seriously overwhelmed with all your love and support. So let's continue this video, and in this part of the video we are going to cover three important question types as previously mentioned. The first question type says, which paragraph contains the following information? So this is a very important question type for both academic as well as general training modules, and you will get to understand how to approach these question types with the right strategy, and you will also understand how to confirm whether the particular answer is suitable to that question or not. Then followed by that, you are going to learn how to answer multiple choice questions in which you have to select two correct options. Now this is something different from the traditional multiple choice questions where you have to opt for one correct option, but here you need to pick up two correct options. Then finally we are going to end the video with summary completion question type. So without any delay, let's start today's video with answering the first set of questions that belong to the question type, which paragraph contains the following information. So as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the matching types of questions in which you need to identify the right paragraph that contains the information given in the statement. So you will notice that several statements are given and you have to match it appropriately to the paragraph in which that information is located. So shall we look at how to identify this? Fine. So this is what you will see. And clearly the instructions mention which paragraph contains the following information, and here there are 9 paragraphs from A to I. So you need to write the answer in the form of alphabets. So before approaching this question type, I want to tell you what is one shortcut to answering these questions. So for any kind of matching, first begin the approach with reading all the statements. I repeat, you have to read all the statements at once before you go to the paragraph reading. This will help you a lot in getting the answers in a faster span of time. You don't need to spend too much of time on any given question because you already know what you are going to look for. So that will ease your efforts. So take my advice. Whenever matching question type is there, whether it is identifying the paragraph or matching nouns or matching the endings of sentences or list of headings, whatever question type it is, read all the questions at once. In this case, you are given some statements and you are supposed to read all these statements before you actually read the paragraphs. And this is the passage which is titled as Saving Bugs to Find New Drugs. You can see paragraphs A, B here, then C and D, E and F, G, H, I. So there are a total of 9 paragraphs in this. So clearly sometimes I must say that the instructions will have a special mention of something known as NB. Of course here you don't have anything called NB, but if NB is there, it means that the paragraphs will be repeated. In other words, what I mean by that is, you will find the answer for 2 statements in one paragraph, but fortunately here there is nothing called NB, but I want all the students to remember that sometimes for this type of question you will find NB. In my previous videos I gave many examples of such paragraphs, so don't forget to check them out on our YouTube channel World of English Exams. So let's look at the process or the strategy to approach these questions. It is just a 3-step method, guys. So the first step says read the instructions. So we have read them, and fortunately there is nothing called NB here. So now the second step says read all the statements and mark the keywords. So you have to underline those words which are very significant in giving the meaning. So for your ease and convenience, I'm going to split each statement separately, help you with identifying the keywords and finding the right answer. So do stay tuned till the end of this video. Finally, you need to read the text and match it to the statements, as easy as that. So let's start answering the statements one by one and match it to the paragraphs appropriately. So the first statements read as follows. Mention of factors driving a renewed interest in natural medicinal compounds. So here, what is the meaning of this? Guys, please understand that in this particular question type, you should not follow the keywords as it is. You need to understand what the sentence means as a whole. So you need to go by the meaning and not by the keywords. You will notice that you will see an improvement if you follow the meaning. If you just follow the keywords, they might not be found in their original form. They may be given in the form of synonyms. So you need to be very careful while reading this. So here, what is the meaning of the statement? Mention of factors which are driving. That means factors driving is nothing but the reasons, the causes which are driving or promoting a renewed interest. So renewed interest is nothing but, so maybe interest is lost and now the interest is created once again. In what? In natural medicinal compounds. So here natural medicinal compounds is a very important factor, very important keyword. So let's read this paragraph and see where the answer is located. A laboratory-based drug discovery has achieved varying levels of success. So varying levels of success means it's not a completely successful process. So and laboratory-based testing is nothing but probably artificial testing or chemical based form of testing, because it's given as laboratory based drug discovery has achieved varying levels of success, something which has now promoted the development of the new approaches focusing once again on natural products. Have you seen that? So because of the mixed levels of success, now there has been a new development in what? Development of new approaches. Approaches are given as factors in the statement. New approaches which are focusing once again. Focusing is nothing but interest. Once again is nothing but renewed. On what? Natural products. Products are given as medicinal products here. Medicinal compounds. Okay, so that is why the answer is located in paragraph C. Hence the answer is C. So now let's see the second statement. I hope you are following the strategy. Now let's move on to answering the 15th question. How recent technological advances, recent technological advances is a very important keyword. Technological advances can be related to automation, okay, or something that is related to the equipment, or maybe something related to sophistication. So recent technological advances have made insect research easier. So previously maybe it was difficult to do the research on insects, but now because of the advanced technology, the insect research is made much easier. So that is the meaning of the statement. So the keywords are recent, technological advances and insect research easier. So now let's read this paragraph and find out how the meaning is inferred from this paragraph. Although natural history knowledge points us in the right direction, it doesn't solve the problems associated with obtaining useful compounds from insects. So definitely natural history is helping us, but it is still very difficult to obtain the compounds from the insects. Fortunately, it is now possible. So it is now possible is nothing but recent. Now is nothing but recent. So it is now possible to snip out the stretches of the insect's DNA that carry the codes for interesting compounds and insert them into cell lines that allow larger quantities to be produced. So they are telling that it is now very convenient and easy to snip out. Snip out is nothing but to extract the stretches of the DNA. So it's very easy to extract the DNA from the insects and insert them into cell lines that allow larger quantities. So it's very easy to produce larger quantities of DNA. And although the road from isolating to characterizing compounds with desirable qualities to developing a commercial product is very long and full of pitfalls, the variety of successful animal derived pharmaceuticals on the market demonstrate that there is a predecessor here that is worth exploring. So what are the technological advances? Advances in being able to extract the DNA from the insect, and that has made the insect research much easier. So that is the answer, which is H. Now let's focus on the next statement. Examples of animals which use medicinal substances from nature. So we are looking at animals that are using natural medicinal substances. That means medicinal substances which are available in the nature. So we need to look for those animals which are making use of it. Clearly the keywords here are animals, use, medicinal substances, nature. So now let's read this paragraph and look at how to identify. More drugs than you might think are derived from or inspired by compounds which are found in living things. Did you get any word called animals or examples of animals? No. Let's continue reading. Looking into nature from the soothing and curing of our ailments is nothing new. We have been doing it for tens of thousands of years. So it's talking about humans and not about animals. You have only to look at other primates. So other primates is nothing but other animals, such as the capuchin monkeys, who rub themselves with toxin oozing millipedes to deter mosquitoes. So in order to deter mosquitoes, these monkeys are rubbing themselves with millipedes which are oozing or which are releasing the toxins. So this is one naturally available medicinal substance because it's secreted by millipedes. That is one example. Second example is chimpanzees who use noxious forest plants to get rid themselves of intestinal parasites. See here, clearly they are talking about two different primates. One is the monkey and the other is the chimpanzee, which are using naturally available medicinal compounds as a drug. So and these are medicinal substances. So clearly the answer lies in paragraph A. You need to go with the meaning. Once again I'm stressing on that, guys. If you go with the keywords, you might not land in the right answers. So let's proceed by answering the next question. Reasons why it is challenging to use insects in drug research. So what is the meaning of challenging here? Challenging means it's very difficult or complicated. So we need to search for those reasons about why it is so difficult or challenging to use these insects in drug research. So the keywords are challenging, use insects and drug research. So let's read this paragraph, which is called F. So why is it that insects have received relatively little attention in bioprospecting? So did you get any keyword? No. So let's continue reading. Firstly, there are so many insects that without some manner of targeted approach, investigating this huge variety of species is a daunting task. So it's again, they are telling that it's a very tiresome and difficult task. What is it? Investigating huge variety of species. That is one reason. Then secondly, insects are generally very small and the glands inside them that secrete potentially useful compounds is smaller. So that this is one more difficulty, that insects themselves are so small and the glands in them which are secreting the useful compounds are even smaller. So this can make it difficult to obtain sufficient quantities of compounds or for subsequent testing. So these are the reasons why it is very difficult to use insects in the drug research. So clearly the information lies in paragraph F. Hence the answer for the 17th question is F. So let's proceed with the next statement now. Reference to how interest in drug research may benefit the wildlife. So here the statement is paraphrased like this. So interest in drug research will benefit the or may benefit the wildlife. That means it can be advantageous to the animals. So why is drug research so beneficial to animals? That is what we need to look at. The keywords are interest in drug research, may benefit wildlife. So here the writer is not sure about it, but he just says it may. That means it possibly, it's expected to benefit the animals, wildlife. So let's see, let's read this paragraph. So with every bit of wilderness that disappears, we deprive ourselves of potential medicines. So if we are losing the wildlife, then there are no more animals left to find out and research about the drugs and find out the medicines. So as much as I'd love to help develop the groundbreaking insect derived medicine, so the writer is telling that he loves to develop the insect derived medicine. My main motivation for looking at insects in this way is conservation. So what is the benefit? That the wildlife can be conserved. That is the primary motivation. I sincerely believe that all species, however small and seemingly insignificant, have the right to exist for their own sake. So if we can shine light on the darker recesses of nature's medicine cabinet, exploring the useful chemistry of the most diverse animals on this planet, I believe we can make people think differently about the value of nature. So this is one more benefit. So people can understand what is the value of nature. Hence, what is the answer for this? I. So the information related to the 18th statement lies in the paragraph I. So let's proceed with the next statement. A reason. So a reason means one reason, one cause. So a reason why nature-based medicines is nothing but natural medicines, fell out of favor. Fell out of favor means people did not bother about using it for a period. So for one period of time, in a certain period of time, maybe chemical or artificial medicines were preferred over natural medicines. That is the meaning of the statement. The keywords here are nature-based medicines fell out of favor for a period. So now let's read this paragraph. Pharmaceutical science and chemistry built on these ancient foundations and perfected the extraction, characterization, modification and testing of these natural products. Then for a while means for some period of time, modern pharmaceutical science moved its focus away from nature. Moved focus away means they did not bother about nature. So and into the laboratory. So designing chemical compounds. So here they are clearly mentioning that for that period of time, for a while, nobody bothered about natural compounds. Everybody was focusing on chemical compound design. So that is the answer, and that is why the answer for the 19th statement is B. Now we shall look at the final statement in this set of questions. An example. So an example means one example of insect derived medicine. So medicine that has been derived or extracted from the insect in use at the moment. At the moment means right now, currently. So the keywords are example, insect derived medicine at the moment. So let's see what is that drug or the medicine which is derived from the insects. From the tiny proportion of insects that have been investigated, several promising compounds have been identified. For example, alloferon. So this is the name of the medicine, an antimicrobial compound produced by blowfly larvae. So blowfly larvae are the insects. So this compound is derived from that, and it is used as an antiviral and anti-tumor agent in South Korea and Russia. So this is a clear-cut example of what is it? Alloferon, and it is an insect-derived medicine which is widely in use in South Korea as well as Russia. So that is why the answer for the 20th statement is E. So this is it, guys. This is how you need to identify the paragraph which contains the information. So this is the answer key for your reference. So if you are able to follow this technique properly, you will understand how easily you can get the answers. So as you can see, there is no confusion, guys. All you require is a little bit of focus in the right direction. So now we shall proceed with answering the next set of questions in this reading passage, and they belong to the question type multiple choice questions. And here we need to select 2 right options from 5 alternative choices. So this is how to identify the question. Clearly the instructions mention choose 2 letters from A to E. So there are 5 alphabets from which I need to choose 2 correct options. So now let's look at the strategy, and I must say that many students have a problem with multiple choice because they waste a lot of time in analyzing each and every word in the options. Please don't do that, guys. It's very simple, and I'm going to give you a strategy by which you can answer these questions without any hassle. So it is a 3-step method. The first step is read the question. That means you're not looking at the option straight away. You're just going to look at the question and read it properly. Step 2 is read the text. Don't go to the options. Directly go to the text and read the text. Then as you are now very clear about what is contained in the text and what you want to find out, selecting 2 options becomes very simple and easy. So shall we explore how to do that, guys? Are you ready? So now let's go back and analyze the question. So which 2 of the following make insects an interesting for drug research? So what are the 2 factors which are maybe promoting our interest in choosing insects for drug research? So insects, drug research and interest, these are the keywords. Now without even looking at the options, I am directly going to read the text. So the keywords are insects, interesting, drug research. So clearly I can see that in the paragraph which is called G, here in the 3rd line I can see interest, insects. So I think that the answer will lie in this paragraph. So let's start reading it. So here we need to find out 2 factors, guys, not just 1. So just have a understanding that you need to choose not 1 but 2 correct options. So let's read that paragraph. My colleagues and I at Aberystwyth University in the UK have developed an approach in which we use our knowledge of the ecology as a guide to target our efforts. So did we get anything about insects? No. So let's continue reading. The creatures that particularly interest us are the many insects that secrete a powerful poison for subduing the prey and keeping it fresh for the future consumption. So one interesting factor is that these insects are secreting a very powerful poison for subduing the prey. That means to catch the prey and keep it fresh for future consumption. So this is one interesting element. Let's continue reading. There are even more insects that are masters in exploring filthy habitats such as feces and carcasses, where they are regularly challenged by thousands of microorganisms. So the insects are having a difficult time with the microorganisms. These insects have many antimicrobial compounds for dealing with the bacteria and fungi, suggesting that there is certainly a potential to find many compounds that can serve or inspire new antibiotics. So this is one factor. What is that? These insects are secreting some substances to keep the prey fresh, and also they are secreting some, and they have some antimicrobial compounds for dealing with bacteria and fungi. So this can be used for developing new antibiotics. So let's now go back to the question and see which option is matching with this. Let's read the option. The huge number of insects. Did you read about the number of insects? So this cannot be the right option. The variety of substances the insects have developed to protect themselves. Is it correct or wrong? Yes, so that is why what are the variety of substances? Antimicrobial substances, and they have secreted potentially powerful poison to keep the prey fresh for future consumption. So that is why the answer is B. One of the answers is B. So now let's proceed with reading the paragraph for the second answer. So this is one of the important thing. And what is the interesting aspect? Development of new antibiotics. So let's read the paragraph further. Although natural history knowledge points us in the right direction, it does not solve the problems associated with obtaining the useful compounds from insects. So, fortunately, it is now possible to snip out the stretches of the DNA, insect DNA, that carry the code for the interesting compounds and insert them into cell lines that allow larger quantities to be reproduced. So here it is talking about how it is helpful to extract out the stretches of the DNA and insert them into cells and allow the larger quantities of the drug or the DNA to be produced. So that is one more very interesting concept, because it is now possible. So while solving the earlier set of questions also, we read this, that due to recent technological advancements, it is now possible to use insects in drug research. Did we read that or not? Yes. So now let's see which option is corresponding. So we have read options A and B, and we have selected B as one of the right options. Then C, the potential to extract and make use of genetic codes. Yes. So potential, it is very easy to extract and use the genetic code. Genetic code is nothing but DNA. So the right option is C. So the two correct options are B and C. So now let's see why D and E are not the answers. Similarity between different species of insect. Did you read anything like this? No, hence option D is eliminated. Then the manageable size of insects. Did you read about it? No. So hence option E is eliminated. So the right options are B and C. So this is how you need to choose two correct options, and you can write them in either order, guys. So there is no necessity to indicate the options in the order of the alphabet. You can write them in any order, but make sure that you're getting both the answers correctly, so as to score the full marks for this question type. So now, without delaying further, let's approach the last type of questions in the reading passage 2, which fall under the category of summary completion. So summary completion is included under the category of fill in the blanks, and this is how you can identify them. So questions from 23 to 26 are falling under this category of summary completion. Complete the summary below, and here what is important is to note the word count. So choose one word only. And here the title says research at Aberystwyth University. So we have to keep this in our mind, and this is the main keyword. You need to find the name of this university, and then we need to approach the question type. So quickly let me tell you the process of answering these questions. So first thing is to read the instructions, which we have done just now. The second one is to underline the keyword. So you have to mark the keywords and then read the corresponding text to find the right answer. Very easy and very simple. But remember, the answer has to be written in one word only. So if you fail to observe the word instructions, automatically your answer may be wrong, because sometimes the answers may be found as 2 words or 3 words. So you need to be smart enough, and you need to read the instructions to find out which is the appropriate word among the 2 or 3 words that you see in the text, and that will be the right answer. So let's continue reading this, but first we need to find out that paragraph that says Aberystwyth University. So let's see this. Paragraph G says, my colleagues and I at Aberystwyth University. So Aberystwyth University is given in this paragraph, so the answer could be found in this paragraph. So let's see. The first sentence says, Ross Piper and the fellow zoologists at Aberystwyth University are using their expertise in dash. So in dash. So in is another keyword that you need to follow. So let's read. My colleagues and I at Aberystwyth University in the UK have developed an approach in which we are using our knowledge of what? Ecology. So they are using their expertise. Expertise is nothing but knowledge. So knowledge in what? Ecology. So what is the answer for the 23rd question? No, ecology. So now let's insert this word and check whether the sentence is meaningful as a whole or not. So Ross Piper and the fellow zoologist at the Aberystwyth University are using their expertise in ecology when undertaking bioprospecting with insects. Yes, the sentence has a full meaning. Hence, the right word in this context is ecology. So now let's proceed with answering the next blank. They are especially interested in compounds that insects produce to overpower and preserve their dash. So what are they interested in? The creatures are particularly interested us as are the many insects that secrete the powerful poison for subduing what? Prey. So prey and keeping it fresh for the future consumption. So what is the answer here? Prey. Now let's insert the word prey and read the sentence. They are especially interested in the compounds that insects are producing to overpower and preserve their prey for future consumption. That is what we read in the passage. So now let's continue with the next statement. They are also interested in compounds which insects use to protect themselves from pathogenic bacteria and fungi found in their dash. So let's see. Where is bacteria and fungi? Yes. So let's read this. So there are even more insects that are masters in exploiting the filthy habitats such as feces and carcasses, where they are regularly challenged by thousands of microorganisms. So what is the answer here? Bacteria and fungi which are found in their habitats. So of course the answer is filthy habitats, but here we need to write the answer as habitats because the word instruction clearly mentions one word only. So that's why you are selecting the answer as habitats. But guys, one important caution here is if you are writing the answer in the singular form here, that means if you are writing the answer as habitat, then it is wrong. You need to look at the word and write it in the exact form as you see in the text. So the text clearly mentions the word habitats, and hence you have to write that as the answer. Then now let's proceed with answering the final question, final statement. Piper hopes that these substances will be useful in the development of drugs such as. So what is the example of the drug? So suggesting that there is certainly a potential to find many compounds that can serve as or inspire new antibiotics. So drugs such as antibiotics. So let's read the statement. Piper hopes that these substances will be useful in the development of drugs such as antibiotics. So clearly the meaning is conveyed in the right sense. So this is it, guys. That is how you need to answer summary completion questions, and this is the answer key. Ecology, prey, habitats and antibiotics. So this is how you will complete answering the questions in the third reading test from Cambridge IELTS 14 Academic. I hope this video was helpful to all those candidates out there who are preparing extensively for their IELTS exam. So if you found this video useful, please do leave a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and lastly, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and encourage our efforts. So till I see you with the next part of this solved reading test videos, happy preparation guys, and thank you once again for all your love and support.